Hi everyone, I'm Tom. I'm a science teacher from Japan. I updated the concentration game app. How to make question cards? First, cut 5 paired images in an Excel macro file. Then, an auto-generated file name. Finally, copy all generated files into the image folder and your questions card are complete. To explain it in detail, I created a video with Notebook LM, and to be honest, its explanation was even better than mine. If you are interested, feel free to check out my website linked in the description. Let's get started.
Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a major upgrade to the classroom memory matching game. We'll get into all the new features, the student feedback that got this whole thing started, and, this is a good one, a super interesting lesson we learned about AI and why shortcuts aren't always so short.
How do we get students genuinely excited to review material? How do we turn study time into, well, game time?
And that is exactly the idea behind our memory matching game. It's this super simple tool that lets any teacher, and I mean any teacher, build a totally custom review game with just an Excel file. And with this latest update, it's just so much better.
Okay, so let's get into it. The best updates, they don't just come out of nowhere. They come from listening to the people who use the thing every single day. Get this feedback came straight from a group of 6th graders. They told us flat out, the game is too easy, it's over too fast. They loved it, but they needed more of a challenge. And you know what? That's a pretty great problem to have, right? We heard them loud and clear. But there was a more frustrating problem, a much more serious one. Imagine you're in the middle of a super intense game, you are one move away from winning, and bam, some other student accidentally joins your room and the whole game just resets. It was a huge bug, and honestly, it was ruining the fun. Alright, so how did we actually do it? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this evolution and see how we turn those problems into some really cool new features. First up, the challenge. We added 6 more cards to the board. Now that might not sound like a lot, it's just 3 new pairs to find, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. Each game lasts longer and takes way more concentration. And what about that game-breaking reset bug? Well, we basically built a lobby system. Now, any room with a game going is clearly marked in play and it's locked. It's like putting a virtual do not disturb sign on the door. Students can see what's free and nobody can accidentally crash someone else's game. Problem solved. But you know, making it better for students was only half the story. We knew we had to make things easier for you, the teachers. So, while we were tinkering under the hood, we totally streamlined the Excel macro you use to build the games. We automated the whole file naming thing, which means less busy work and more precious prep time back in your day. Now, here's where the story takes a little twist. To get all these updates done, we used some pretty modern tools, including a little help from artificial intelligence. But that led to a completely unexpected and frankly, really valuable lesson. So our plan was simple. Let's go fast. We gave our existing code to an AI and said, hey, make these changes for us. The idea was to get a single perfect block of code that we could just copy and paste right back in. Easy peasy, right? Yeah, famous last words. As soon as we dropped in the AI's shiny new code, things just started to break. Stuff that worked perfectly fine before was suddenly a mess. We hadn't just failed to fix the old bugs, we'd actually created a whole bunch of new ones. And that's when we had this uh-oh moment. We were digging through the AI's code, trying to figure it out, and we realized, wait a second, the whole basic logic is wrong. The way the original program knew which cards were a match, it was just gone. So here's what happened. The AI basically ignored all the context we gave it. Instead of building on top of the existing code, it just threw it out and tried to start from scratch. But it didn't understand the foundation it was replacing, so the whole thing just fell apart.
And this whole experience just perfectly summed up this powerful Japanese proverb, Isogaba mawere. It basically means more haste, less speed. Our big attempt to find a quick AI shortcut, it ended up costing us way more time. It was this huge reminder that there's just no substitute for really truly understanding what you're building.
So I guess the only question left is, what amazing game are you going to create? This tool is more powerful and easier to use than it has ever been. It is ready for you to build something unique, something perfectly tailored for your class. We honestly can't wait to see what you come up with.